Portland be the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the City of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez.
Oh, it's good to be back. No Seahawks today, but no problem. Week 11 of the NFL season, it's been a wild one, including two major matchups that went into overtime, plus a monster game from Justin Herbert, plus big wins for the Ducks and Beavers at home. What we saw on Saturday in Eugene and Corvallis, plus the NBA cramming months of offseason into just a couple of weeks. We'll tell you who's coming to Rip City. Why are you laughing, man?
It's crazy. It's the silly season.
Well, welcome to Sports Sunday, everyone. My name is Orlando, joined as always by Art Edwards, who is keeping it socially distant. You know the name of the game, Art.
That's
Where
right.
in the world are you?
I'm in Coventry, England for the Grand Slam of darts. Got to throw those darts. I mean, it's a big deal. We're talking 550,000 pounds up for grab. If you do the math, that's $732,000.
I don't even know where to go with that. My mind is blown right now. Who knew that Art Edwards had this kind of dart knowledge?
I'm everywhere.
I need you here for at least the next half hour. Art, you ready to do this, man?
I'll do it.
Okay. Well, there was all kinds of action in Rip City this week. Woj bombs, free agency, trades, and of course the draft. A couple of familiar faces plan on running it back in PDX. Carmelo Anthony told us at the end of the season he found a home in Portland. And now it's official, signing a new contract with the Trail Blazers. According to ESPN, it's a one-year deal at the league minimum. Melo averaged 15 points, 5 rebounds last season. He hit some clutch shots and earned a Western Conference Player of the Week award in December. How about this one, Art? It remains hoodie season in the Rose City. After opting out of the final year of his previous deal, he signed a new 2-year contract worth $21 million. That's according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Hood was off to a career year last season. He shot 49% from 3 and 50% from the field as the team's starting small forward. Then he tore his left Achilles in December. Per a release from the team, general manager Neil Olshey says Hood is fully healthy and expects him to make an immediate impact. All right, Art, so a lot has changed over the past few days. So let's break down some of the new additions to the team. I'll get it going, okay?
All right.
This was the big one. In a trade with the Houston Rockets, the Blazers gave up Trevor Ariza and a couple of first-round picks to get forward Robert Covington. He averaged 12 points, 6 assists last season. Covington is a player that fits the Blazers' needs. He's 6'7", can play multiple positions. He's a former first-team all-defense, and he can knock down the 3-ball. They call these guys 3-and-D.
Oh, yeah.
What
Hey, you know what? We got more moves, of course. Lots of Blazers fans, of course, they loved this one. Bringing back center Enes Kanter. You know, they gave up Mario Hezonja in a 3-team deal with the Celtics and the Grizzlies. Kanter played a key role in the Blazers' run to the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. In Boston last year, he averaged 8.7 rebounds and 17 minutes per game as their backup center.
I know the timeline on social media was going crazy for Enes Kanter. Okay, airplane mode activated. The Blazers signed free agent forward Derrick Jones Jr. Man can get up. He was the slam dunk champion. He's athletic and he can also defend. Jones averaged about 8 points, 4 rebounds with the Miami Heat last season. According to Shams Charania of The Athletic, Jones' contract is 2 years worth $19 million.
Hey, the Blazers added a bit more size to the roster as well. They signed power forward, kind of maybe a center too, Harry Giles. He's 6'11", 240 pounds, averaged 7 points, 4 rebounds with the Kings last season. Fun fact, the Blazers technically drafted him in 2017, but he was involved in a trade so they could get Zach Collins.
Yeah, some people were asking, wasn't he with the Blazers? Yeah, it was real quick though. Speaking of draft, after trading away their first-round pick for Covington, Portland still had a second-rounder in this week's draft, and with the 46th pick, they went with Washington State Cougars small forward C.J. Ellaby. He was a first-team All-Pac-12 selection as a sophomore last season. And now the Blazers have 2 CJs on the team. 2.
That might confuse me a little bit.
Yeah, checking notes. All right, CJ.
There you
So
go.
here's how the bulk of the Blazers roster stands.
Yeah.
The backcourt, pretty simple.
Easy.
Dame and CJ will get most of the work, followed by Anthony Simons and Gary Trent Jr. coming off the bench. Looks pretty good, pretty simple, right?
Yeah, I
well,
like that.
Here we go. The front court will give Terry Stotts reasons to think. The center position, you got it covered. You got Nurk and then Cantor as his backup who will clog the middle. But there are now 6 forwards who will want playing time. Good problem to have, but there's still lots to sort out. So, Art, my question to you is, what do you think about all the moves that the Portland Trail Blazers made so far?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I like the fact that everybody talks about these guys being defensive players, because I think that's one of the things the Blazers really have been lacking is some really tough defense on the perimeter. So hopefully these guys will help that.
A lot of people have given Neil Olshey a lot of criticism over the years, but during this offseason, he's been able to address those needs that you mentioned, Art. So let's see if all of the pieces fit together, because now Terry Stotts has got to make all of these players work together. But
right.
I think Covington was the big one, because they needed a guy who can not only stretch the floor on offense, but can defend. And this is about as good as you're going to get in free agency.
I know, I'm looking forward to the season now.
Well, still to come, Art. Break out those Beavers. Jermar Jefferson, the Energizer Bunny who just keeps going and going and going until he finds the end zone. Oregon State gets his first win of the year. And later, this is the XFL. That's my Vince McMahon impression. Thank you, producer Craig. But an XFL star makes some noise in his first NFL start. It will all make sense. I promise you. Come back. Welcome back to Sports Sunday. The Oregon State Beavers, they're now in the win column. They held on to beat Cal 31-27. This game had a bit of everything. First play of the game, and there he goes. Jermar Jefferson ripped off a 75-yard touchdown run. He had another monster game, 196 yards to lead the offense. The Beavers went deep into the playbook. Quarterback Tristan Gebbia, he caught a touchdown, he threw for one, and he ran for another. Cal, though, took the lead in the fourth quarter, but the Beavers, they rallied and came through with a score, and the defense came up with a turnover to seal the deal. Good to get that first W.
I was just praying to God that somebody was going to come down with it, and then just overwhelming joy.
It was crazy on the sideline. You can't really, there's no words to really explain kind of that feeling.
Really just proud and happy for these guys. They've been working really hard, continue to believe.
You didn't want to go down 0-3, so to be up and get a win heading to Oregon is big.
All right, Art, what'd you think about those Beavs?
Well, you know what? I love the fact that they got the win. I mean, that's a gritty team. They always fight so hard to be able to get through these things. And it was nice to see it work out for them in the end. I wasn't so sure there for a while, but good to see.
2 things. One, it was fun to see them open up the playbook and really attack. That was a good time to watch, and it was entertaining. But number 2, the defense. The way that they held up late in the game, they did that twice already. So you're seeing them play really well in the second half of their last 2 games. All right, at the same time that the Beavers were playing, Art, you were flipping the channel because the Ducks took on UCLA, and this one was a tight game. The Ducks did a lot of their damage through the air. Tyler Shuck, 334 yards, 3 touchdown passes. He was money. Good thing he had a big day because the Bruins, they just wouldn't quit. They had to go with a redshirt freshman quarterback, and he ran the offense to perfection. This game wasn't decided until the Ducks defense stopped the Bruins at the end of this game. Oregon just glad to get out of Autzen with another win.
We're a little bit out of sync, and like we told those guys, look, when you win, you don't apologize for winning. You don't get down for winning. You just recognize where you got to get better.
We all just got together and just told each other we're going to fight and stick this thing out. We were super resilient. Obviously the win's a win. So we're not happy with how everything turned out. But I think there's just a lot that we can grow from.
How you feeling about those Ducks?
Yeah, I'm worried about their defense right now. They gave up 461 yards to UCLA, and UCLA had a quarterback who had never started a game before out there on the field. So, I think that's something they're going to have to work on. They did create turnovers. They had, UCLA had 4 turnovers, But still, this game should never have been as close as it was for that kind of a statistic.
Yeah, they were huge double-digit favorites. I know they were disappointed in their performance. As you said, the defense has got to buckle down. They've got to be better. And they kind of did what the Ducks usually do, and that's run the ball.
Right.
They pounded the Ducks, and so Oregon also has to be better at running the ball. That's their bread and butter. That's their identity. Yeah. Let's see if they can turn things around. But, I mean, a win is a win at the end of the day, and they're 3-0.
Absolutely. They're 3-0 and in the top 10 in the AP poll.
Yeah, they're now up to number 9, and it now sets up for a rivalry game between the Ducks and the Beavers in Corvallis on Friday, man.
Yes.
That's going to be a good time.
Looking forward to it.
For the first time since 1944, the Washington State Cougars and Washington Huskies will not play against each other on the football field. The Pac-12 Conference announced the Apple Cup is canceled. WSU does not have enough players available due to COVID-19. The game is declared a no contest. According to Bruce Feldman at The Athletic, UW reached out to BYU about playing this weekend, but BYU reportedly turned them down. What'd you think of that, Art?
I thought they said anytime, any place, anyone.
Oh, what's up with that, man?
I don't know.
Art, remember in the cartoons when the characters see money?
Oh, yeah.
Their eyes go huge and
they
flash dollar signs.
Yeah.
Well, Justin Herbert, he basically did that when he saw the Jets defense. My goodness. Art, is that you catching touchdown passes out there?
I might have been able to.
Well, that's coming up. The rookie doing work.
Pratt gonna throw. Pratt pressured. It is picked off by Zaven Collins. And the player we debuted at the beginning of the game is gonna end it for Tulsa in double overtime.
Ooh-wee, game-winning play in the Tulsa-Tulane game. That's Tulsa linebacker Zaven Collins, who jumped the route, double OT, and it was see you later. A 96-yard game-winning pick six. Tulsa gets the W, 30-24 over Tulane, and that's also your Toyota Sunday sizzle. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah. All
right, Art, this is going to be fun. You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
No doubt about it, former Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert is big time, right?
Oh, yeah.
He went off against the New York Jets. Herbert picked on the Jets defense, threw for 277 yards in the first half. He ended the day with 366 yards and 3 touchdowns. Herbert tied an NFL rookie record with 37 completions. He has 5 games with 3 or more touchdown passes. That is the most by a rookie in NFL history. With the injury today to Bengals' Joe Burrow, Herbert could be the frontrunner for Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Chargers beat the Jets 34-28. It's Herbert's second win as starter. Herbert says he's not thinking about individual records.
I try to look at the wins and losses, and it hasn't been easy for us by any means. But going forward, we're just trying to win games. And our records are great and all, but I think as long as we're winning games and doing things the right way on the football field, that's what's most important to me.
Well, Herbert and the Chargers 3-7, and they've got a tough one next week. They're on the road against Buffalo.
Yeah. Might be a rough one. Hey, the Seattle Seahawks, they were able to beat the Cardinals on Thursday night. They're now 7-3, and they're in first place in the NFC West. Moving forward, they have a real chance to pad their win total. Look at that next 4 games. The Eagles at home against then they play the Giants and the Jets, and then on the road at Washington. Those teams have a combined 9 wins. Then it gets a little bit more serious, again in Week 16, when the Seahawks visit the Rams.
That schedule is so soft, Art. Like, no excuses, Seahawks. You took care of the tough one there.
That's right.
Get these wins.
Get them.
Time for us to take a trip around the NFL driven by Hyundai. We'll start in Baltimore. Game of the day between the Ravens and Titans. And this one went to overtime, and of course, that's where we got to go. Titans putting the ball in the hands of Derrick Henry. You know what he said, Art?
Yeah, he said it's done.
Yeah, he called game. 29 yards for the walk-off score. Titans win 30-24. Tennessee now 7-3. Baltimore drops to 6-4.
Man. All right, let's load up and move the Mayflower moving trucks and head to Indianapolis. The Colts hosting the Packers in another crazy game.
You're not supposed to laugh at your own joke, Art.
I know, I can't help it. Overtime, look at that. Packers with the ball, critical mistake. The short pass is fumbled by Marquez Valdez-Scantling. The ball pops loose, Colts recover. That set up this A 29 from the 29-yard line. Rodrigo Blankenship beats the 39-yard field goal for the win. Colts take it 34-31. Both teams 7-3 on the season.
He's got the best glasses in the game.
Oh, he
Heading
does.
south to Jacksonville, Steelers looking to go 10-0, visiting Jake Luton and the Jags. Steelers' Ben Roethlisberger, he's ready to roll. He had a solid game. 31-yard scoring strike here to Chase Claypool in the second quarter to give the Steelers a 10-3 lead. Pittsburgh cruised from there. They get the 27-3 win. Big Ben with 267 yards, 2 touchdown passes. On the other hand, it was a tough day for former Beaver Jake Luton, who threw 4 interceptions. Pittsburgh is now 10-0. Jacksonville 1-9. All right, Art, let's take a look at the players and teams that had good days and maybe one that had a not so good day.
Yeah.
We call it our heroes and zeros. Carolina Panthers quarterback PJ Walker, he's a hero. Played today for the injured Teddy Bridgewater, and he threw for 258 yards and a touchdown in his first NFL start. The Panthers won 20-0 over the Lions. Walker is undefeated as a pro. He went 5-0 in the XFL earlier this year, and he's now 1-0 in the NFL.
The XFL counts, huh? Okay.
Burn, Craig!
Our next hero is the Saints' Taysom Hill. Another first-time starter out of the field. Hill rushed for 2 touchdowns, passed for 233 yards. The New Orleans Saints extended their winning streak to 7 games with a 24-9 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Hill got the start for the injured Drew Brees.
All right, now it's time for our zero of the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
The Eagles' Carson Wentz. He threw 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. He got sacked 5 times. One of them was for a safety. And the Eagles lost to the Browns 22-17. Philadelphia, 3-6-1. Somehow, some way, they are still in first place in the NFC East.
That's the silver lining, I guess.
Oh, yeah. 3 wins, man. 3 wins. The MLS playoffs underway. Portland Timbers hosting FC Dallas over at Providence Park, and the Timbers have just scored. They are up 1-0 in the 82nd minute. We are talking playoffs.
Yeah.
Much more coming up at 11 with those Timbers. We'll be right back. Art, I just missed the entry to this competition just by a few days. I missed out, man.
I know. I should have traveled to Russia for this.
Yeah, I hear that they can do really cool things like pull cars and lift cars. And
I mean, yeah. I do that every morning. It's my workout.
This is how Art Edwards starts his day right there, folks.
That's right.
Nice show as usual, man. It's good to see you socially distant, man.
I love it.
All right, that does it for the show tonight. We leave you with our plays of the week.
Already is go time. Lights, camera, action.
Like the turnover chainsaw.
The Boston Celtics select Peyton Pritchard from the University of Oregon.
He starts with the football. 5 yards and counting. Oh my goodness! What kind of speed do you have? Jefferson, an opening touchdown for the Beavers.
A great football play by the free safety.
Man, I can't get over how smart.